What happens if you want to save more in a Roth 401k than what the limit is? Currently 2023, the limit is $22,500. If you are 49 or under, if you're turning 50 this year or going to be over 50 this year, then it is $30,000. So you have a catch-up contribution there. But unfortunately, plans only allow so much when it comes to that. But the IRS says, guess what? You can actually give more money to a 401k than what they allow. You can actually do up to $66,000 if you are 49 or under, and you can do up to $73,500 if you are 50 or over. And the trick with this, though, is having what is called an after-tax contribution to your 401k. And then what a lot of people like to talk about is called the mega backdoor Roth IRA, which is quite confusing. If you caught us the other night on Wine and Wealth, we touched on this a little bit because we did an open house Wine and Wealth, a class that we do here for clients at Jazz Wealth. But if not, let's go into the details and I'll really give you the nitty gritty on how all this works. And so the basic breakdown is if you're going to do a Roth 401k, or if you have that opportunity, you have to have pre-tax Roth 401k and also after-tax contributions that are allowed in a plan, in an employer plan. If you have those, then you have the ability to do the mega backdoor Roth if you can do the after-tax contributions. Now, as I'd mentioned before, $66,000, $73,500 are the limits for 2023, but you have to be careful because there's a really big catch with this whole scenario. And that is your employer is going to also do a match oftentimes on the 401k. Well, if you do 22.5 on your account, and then let's just say that you have this really amazing employer and they're going to give you a 100% match. Well, now you're doing 45,000. Well, then let's just say that you're able to do, financially can do 25,000 to your after-tax contribution. Well, that puts you at 70,000, and that's over the limit if you're 49 or under. So what ends up happening is actually the employer match doesn't get to go in there. So you're missing out on some free money. So there's some really tricky things here that come into play with this that you want to make sure that you are aware of. Now, what it comes to with this right here, let's go ahead and go to the screen. We'll look at this. You got the pre-tax, the Roth, and the after-tax contributions are all different. What this means is your after-tax contributions are not Roth contributions. They're just after-tax, a lot like a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k, but they are actually going to grow tax deferred. And so some plans I've seen, I believe it's Fidelity has the opportunity where if you put it into an after-tax account, they immediately convert it to your Roth 401k so that there's no gains there. But if maybe your plan doesn't do that, or maybe you do it throughout the year and there's actually the opportunity potentially to roll it over or transfer it out into a Roth IRA, if you do that, then if there are some gains on the account, you are going to have to pay ordinary income tax on the gains that went in there. So just make sure you're understanding how all this works. You'll have to have the 401k, which your employer may or may not provide. Most companies are providing Roth 401ks now. If you don't have a Roth 401k, reach out to your human resources department, somebody there, and say, hey, what can we do to get a Roth 401k? A lot of 401k providers are offering that. From there, as I'd mentioned, you can do the in-plan conversion. That's where you're going to contribute to an after-tax account. And then you are going to then do the in-plan conversion where it just goes to the Roth 401k. If it's an out-of-plan rollover, that's the one I'd mentioned where I'd mentioned earlier, transfer to actually roll over when it's coming out of the 401k. Get my terms right. I think I'm an advisor or something around here. Better get it right. And so the out-of-plan rollover, what we're going to do is you're going to then contribute to the after-tax account and then roll it over into a Roth IRA. Again, make sure that you're realizing that when you do this, it's a conversion. It's not considered a contribution to your Roth IRA for the year. So you can obviously still do the Roth IRA if you're under the income limits. It's also not, part of this 22,500 rule for your Roth 401k because you're converting after-tax dollars going into the Roth. It's a really cool concept there. But again, if there are gains in your after-tax account and you go to convert it, you will have to pay taxes on those gains for the year. Make sure you are aware of that because that's something that is a big catch that a lot of people mess up and don't realize. Really, what you should know before you do these, though, you've got to talk about your income. I mean, basically, what if you can't do it? Maybe you just, it's a lot of money that you're talking about. Higher income earners oftentimes like to look at other opportunities, other ways to save. And technically, I mean, a higher income earner can't do just a general Roth IRA. Maybe they do a backdoor Roth IRA. But if they have this ability, they can do the Roth 401k plus the mega backdoor Roth conversion. So it creates some cool opportunity for them. Tax brackets, you want to make sure that if you have after-tax gains there, like I'd mentioned, that you're being cautious of that if you're doing this conversion. So maybe you've been doing after-tax contributions, but you're like, hey, I'm just going to let them grow tax deferred. But then now you're learning of this mega backdoor Roth. Well, you might want to make sure that you don't just convert it all at once and you're really conscious about what your tax brackets are. Retirement goals, plan rules. Some plans just don't have the opportunity to do this. And retirement goals, I mean, it depends. Are you already on track for retirement? Do you need to save more? At Jazz, we talked about that with clients. How much do you really need to save for retirement? It's not that we don't want you to have a nice nest egg in retirement and be comfortable, but also, you do have to live today. Unfortunately, things are getting more and more expensive out there, and we want to make sure you're saving just enough, but not this excessive amount that you're never going to spend in retirement. So look at that. If you're looking for an advisor, we'd be happy to help you. Check out jazzwealth.com. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check us out, jazzwealth.com, to grow your dough, get educated. Check out one of these videos up here.